Hello, Dallas. It's time to wake up and get wealthy. I'm Terri Arends, Group Fitness and Wellness Director with the Arends Family JCC. And today on our segment, we have Miss Sue Mintz, who is going to share with us how to become physically healthy and wealthy. So let's take a deep dive. And Sue, thank you so much for coming on the segment today.
Oh,
so
Terri,
excited.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm excited.
Yeah,
thank you. This is great.
So I know there's a lot of different ways to retire, but I understand that you are what we would call a certified retirement transitional coach.
Right.
What in the world is that?
Good question. I get asked that a lot because it is a new niche. And what a certified retirement coach is, what I do is I help individuals who are either recently retired or preparing to retire understand what the non-financial side of retirement is. I think when we all prepare to retire, we're always, we know that we need money in the bank, right? Mm-hmm. That's the first thing.
Right.
But nobody really talks about the non-financial side of retirement and what are some aspects of that individuals need to be aware of and plan for.
You know,
I don't help people with their finances at all.
Right. Yes. We have that disclosure.
Yes.
But you know what? I love that because that's kind of, I never thought of it this way, but that's sort of, well, it is what we do here at the J, you know, to keep people socially connected, to keep people impacted in, different activities that will allow them to become more fitter or a little brain health. So all of those things that we do, this is really interesting. Yeah. Don't worry. After this segment, I'm going to put you on the payroll. No.
Oh, please do. That'd be great. Nothing wrong with a part-time job.
So tell me, why is this important? Like, how does, when people come to the J and what you do, there are some ties. So why is it important?
Yeah, because one of the most important things as we live longer, I mean, studies are showing that we're living a lot longer now. And one of the important things to prepare for that is to stay physically, emotionally, and mentally fit, and also staying socially connected. I love how you put on the different pillars for this week. One is social connectivity, and social connectivity is paramount in living longer and being more vibrant and having a reason to get out of bed in the morning. Mm-hmm. You know, money helps us sleep at night, but it doesn't get us out of bed in the morning.
Right. I think that when we're talking about that moment where we're retiring, it doesn't really anymore. Like, I keep meeting people that are younger than myself, and they are done with work. So maybe they were lucky with Silicon Valley or something. So this isn't just for folks. This is just not for people that are, what is the retirement age now moved to 67 or something, 67 plus. So this segment for Wealth Week is not just about that particular age. It's for everyone. So I hope everybody's taking some notes and keying in.
We can maybe just talk about this as a transition, not necessarily a retirement transition. It's with any transition. Yeah, you told me that you're playing pickleball with some young folks that are like in their 40s and they're already thinking about retiring.
Yes.
And actually, I was with some retirement coaches recently, and they are actually getting clients that are in their 40s and 50s. And there is no expiration date for retirement, but one of the main things is to have a plan in place, to think about, okay, what is going to keep me vibrant and living longer? What am I going to do? I've invested in my finances. What do I need to do to invest in my health to keep me living the life I want to live?
So I'm kind of curious. You mentioned that you were sounds like you were at a conference with some other colleagues that are in the same area of expertise. So, Sue, how did you get involved with this? Like, what?
Interesting story. My background was in career coaching, leadership development, and I loved helping individuals that was my purpose when I was working. And when I decided that it was time for me to retire, I thought maybe, well, I'll just continue career coaching. So I was in the process of getting certified to be a career coach on my own. And my husband and I were in New York, and I had just come back from this session for career coaching certification. He goes, Sue, look at this article in the Wall Street Journal. He said, this guy is very successful on Wall Street. He has bukus of money, financially set, and he retired, went on his retirement honeymoon, and came back, and he was just lost. He didn't know what he was going to do. So he did some research, and found a retirement coach. And so Jim says, gosh, look at this. Maybe it's something you ought to check it out. I said, well, it sounds very interesting. And I did that. I checked it out, and the rest is history.
Wow. Yeah. So yeah, it just sounds like right there that you definitely, when you're thinking of that target age, it's not just for the mindset of the people. What is it, 67 now? 67 and plus, but it's a wide range now.
It doesn't matter. It's just, what are we going to do to prepare for when we transition, regardless if we're 30, 40, 50, 70, 80, right?
And right. And so how do you get them to prepare for this? Give us a few of your tips, your steps.
Okay. I think one of the most important things is for people to understand, what was it that satisfied them at work? What was their purpose? What was their identity? Did they have structure? Did they continue to learn? Did they have opportunities to continue to learn? And how are they going to replace those things when they retire?
Oh,
okay. So what's going to be their new identity? What's going to be their new structure? And what's going to be their, what's going to get them out of bed in the morning? And we go into a lot about health, because if people don't prepare for this, they could, I know individuals who have actually, suffered mentally, emotionally, when they don't have something to prepare for, or when they haven't prepared. And, I kind of look at it as a three-legged stool. We have a chair we sit in at work, and then we move into another phase of life. And the three-legged stool is composed of, how are we going to stay mentally, physically, and emotionally fit? And if one of those legs on the stool collapses, then it impacts our entire life. So one of the things that the J really, really is so helpful about is helping individuals with their physical health. Because, again, physical health has a huge impact on whether or not we stay emotionally healthy and mentally healthy. How many times do we say, gosh, I don't want to get up and go to the J this morning. I'm so, I just don't want to go. But we get up and we go, and we leave, and we've said, gosh, I'm so glad I went, because now I just feel so much more emotionally and mentally fit for the day. And another thing is so huge is, like you said, social connectivity here. There's something new that I've been reading about. It's called social fitness. How are we socially fit? And social fitness is really about being able to connect with individuals and make friendships. I've made so many friendships here. In fact, I went on a girls' trip recently with some girls that I've met here, and we have never laughed so hard in our lives. It was the best. It just did so much for all of us.
That's so nice. Thanks for sharing that story. It kind of gives me
I talk to people here all the time, and they've just made so many friends, and some of them are retired and some of them aren't, but it doesn't matter. It's just such a great place to create those friendships.
So let's put a different spin on it. If we reverse this, do you feel like that? I think I know the answer to this, but I want you to take a deeper dive. Do you feel like that health can improve your wealth?
Absolutely. So how can health improve your wealth? I think when we get up and we come and we work out, whether or not it be in the morning, the afternoon, or the evening, I think it stimulates our brain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it has a huge impact on our brain, and that would answer your question. Also, it the more brain power we have if we are working, and even if we're not working,
Mm-hmm.
it can help promote us in life into different directions that could help us with our finances. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
individuals that work, um, it makes them more productive. I think there's a huge um, there's a huge impact on being productive once we feel like we're more mentally healthy.
Okay. And so you mentioned about that three-legged stool. So I would feel like that's sort of similar to like with our Wellth Week.
Yeah.
And I had created like there's 5 pillars to our Wellth Week, which this year, every year it has a different theme. This year's Wellth Week is focusing on investing in the future you,
Right.
and basically anti-aging. So if you were to take, you had talked about that three-legged stool, what exactly, if you just identify what are those 3 pillars?
Okay. Well, they're your physical health,
Okay, 1.
your mental health,
Okay.
and your emotional health.
Okay.
And I really think that remaining physically healthy has a huge impact on your mental health and your emotional health. I have a friend that's a nurse, and she says that, and she works in a doctor's practice, and she says there's definitely more individuals that come in for doctor visits once they retire or once they're between jobs. When they don't have something to get up and do in the morning, their doctor visits increase. And it could be for mental reasons, it could be for physical reasons, or it could be for emotional reasons. So again, one of the benefits of joining the J and being here at the J, you have a reason to get up in the morning, come exercise, and stay healthy.
Yeah, that really resonates with me. When I was growing up, and my grandfather, he had the opportunity to retire early from the railroad. He was an engineer, and he took that opportunity, and I feel like that opportunity decreased his lifespan instead of increasing it.
Absolutely.
So that really resonates with me when you were talking earlier about purpose and having a purpose, whether it's getting up in the morning and doing whatever, but having that purpose and drive is just going to keep, our lifespan to increase.
Exactly.
And we all want to live a little longer these days.
Well, because we are living longer.
Yes.
I mean, studies show we are living longer because there's so much, there's so many resources and so many opportunities for us to get out and just continue to move. I think that's the most important thing. And you talked about your grandfather. I mean, when my parents retired and when my grandparents retired, retire means to withdraw. And there's a lot of pushback right now about, I don't want to use that word retire. In fact, sometimes I ask my clients, if you don't want to retire, what do you want to do? And they go, well, I want to repurpose. I want to recharge. I want to, re-something. They don't want to retire. They don't want to withdraw. And so we talk about, okay, well, what are ways that keep you from from not doing that?
Right. And if those happen to be ambitions to, see the world, or, or just hang out with your grandkids,
or, some
or
people
your dog.
Right. Oh, puppies. They're always such a great emotional support. But yeah, or it's just, some people want to get out and have a part-time job or have maybe a second career. Who knows?
Well, Sue, I'm starting to understand more with this conversation today as to what your purpose is with, the opportunities that come your way. And I also see that also when you have that purpose and drive, that you do need to be healthy. And if you are healthy, absolutely, you can probably take a deeper dive into this, but it is going to save you on your finances because you're going to have less trips to
the doctor. You're going to have less costs when it comes to medical, if you have to go into the hospital, if you have to have more doctor visits, like you say, prescription drugs. I mean, being healthy definitely saves, money in the long run.
Yes.
Yeah.
What else? What other things do you have that you can share with us?
I read an article recently, and I'm going to refer to my note here. It says, investing in your health pays dividends that money can't buy. I mean, there's so many dividends that come when you're healthy. And I mean, we've talked about that, the way that we have a purpose to get up and get out of bed in the morning. It keeps us, again, mentally, emotionally fit. Sometimes we have a new purpose, which gives us a whole new lease on life. And money helps us sleep at night, but it doesn't always make a difference. I mean, in our health, how many times, I have one friend, and whenever New Year's comes around or something, we'll go, well, have a happy New Year. Well, she always says, wait, what needs to come before happy is healthy. Have a healthy New Year. And again, just focusing on our health pays huge dividends that will bring us happiness and longevity, social interactions. And again, yesterday it was so fun when we did that class with you, and you had us work with individuals in the class, and then after that you had us meet each other. And I mean, that's what it's all about here at the J.
Right.
It's about making that not only becoming more physically fit, but also making that practicing our social fitness. I think it was at Greg that I took a pickleball class recently, and Greg was saying, I'm here to help you play pickleball and learn pickleball, but I'm also here to help create a community. And I think that's just, I mean, that's the purpose of the J. And I really think what you're doing here with this Wellth Week and staying wealthy, I love how you take the spin, and I'm like, a friend of mine asked me, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm going to talk to the J about, they have a segment on staying wealthy. And she goes, well, you don't have any experience on helping people prepare for the finances. I'm like, well, this is Wellthy, Wellthy. So I thought that was, I think that's great.
And actually, which brings to the point when we first started talking, and I was asking if you would be interested in coming on this segment. At first, I got it wrong. I thought it was on the financial end, and then I had to regroup there, with a little deeper explanation of what it is. And
that was great.
And then I was like, okay, that really makes sense. And really what you do and what we do here at the J really meshes well together. Yeah.
It does.
So if there's like two big ways to invest in one's health, working out and eating healthy, you had already mentioned what those other options are, but maybe you could recap again just for our viewers on again, the easiest way to get this done.
I think we all know the importance of eating healthy. Don't buy, box foods anymore. We don't want to eat processed foods. We want to eat as healthy, fresh, foods as we can. I mean, nutrition is a huge part.
Right. As a matter of fact, we had yesterday Leah Margot, who is a nutritionist, and we were talking about, she hates when I say the term clean eating.
Oh yeah.
But that's sort of what her lecture yesterday was about for Wellth Week. She just adapted it to like sensible eating and, just being mindful of what you are consuming.
Right. Also, meditation and yoga. I mean, those are other great ways to practice health other than physically, we need to eat right. We need to get physical exercise, meditate, sleep. I'm reading more and more about the importance of sleeping, and getting a good night's sleep.
Yes.
And I know that so many people, I have so many friends that are, having difficulty with that now. I mean, or they wake up in the middle of the night and they can't go back to sleep. And there's a lot of different ways that can be improved. I'm not a doctor to talk about that. So I encourage people to go talk to their doctor about that, but it makes a big difference.
Yeah. Well, you know what, in regards to sleep, which is a topic it fascinates me as well. And we do have for Wellth Week I've recognized how sleep is so underrated. And so we do have, just for J members, if you're coming in the sport and fitness entrance, or you come in the other way, you'll just need to get your steps in and go to sport and fitness. We have an opportunity right now for you to drop your name in a bowl to win one of 2 sleep headphones. Yeah, it's like a Sleep Pro set that allows you to wireless set that'll allow you to sleep better at night. So anyways, we do have that opportunity, but to go ahead and participate that, you'll need to go to the sport and fitness entrance to drop your name in.
Cool. Thank you. Something else, and I know that this is difficult for so many of us, including myself, is to take digital breaks. Get away
what
from
do you mean by a digital
get away
break?
From the screen. Put your phone down. Don't take breaks from your computer. Just get up and just not spend so much time, relying on our digital devices. I mean, and it's something that I need to improve on.
Do you ever find any clients, I know you're not in the financial end, but that come to you and then you do start talking a little bit about their finances, so do you find that, do you ever find anyone that oh, I haven't started investing, is it too late now? And I know that's not your area, but have they been in, do you say then to, are you investing in you as far as how you feel? Yeah,
that's a great point. Yes, some of them do come to me, and they're some are somewhat distraught. Some are, financially fit forever, but they say, well, I don't feel like I've got, the financial resources right now that I want. I don't think it's ever too late to start saving. I mean, it depends on where you are in life, whether or not, where do you want to be at a certain age in terms of finances? And that's when I recommend that they go to a financial advisor. And then they ask me, well, I've never worked out. And and when we talk about health and working out, they're like, I've never really been one to work out. It's never too late to start. I didn't go to a gym until I was in my 40s.
Really?
Yeah. But I think the earlier we start, and studies have shown this, the earlier we start focusing on our physical health, the higher the chances are for us to lead a longer and healthier lifestyle. It becomes part of our daily process. We put away money in the bank, to save for the future. What are we doing for ourselves physically to make a difference and receive the same dividends physically that we look for financially?
Oh, I think you just summed it up there. That is like a nice tight package with a really pretty bow.
Okay.
That is beautiful.
Okay.
And it really resonates with me, and I'm sure it does with all of our viewers as well. Okay. And with this being Wellth Week, and this is just an extra segment, we will be back next week for our regular segment, but this was just a special edition. We do have an audience today, so I'd like to see if anybody in our audience happens to have any type of questions that they may want to ask.
I do. I have a question. I know working out is so important, social piece of it. Is it actually better to work out in a class than go to the gym and get on a machine by ourselves?
All right. I would love to answer that, but I'll let Sue go first. And then, but anyways, in case you could not hear the question was that for on the social element of what we're discussing today, is it better to work out one-on-one on like a fitness piece of equipment, maybe a treadmill, versus coming to a group class. I'll let Sue go first, but I am going to tap into this because I'm the group fitness director.
I feel like I'm being tested right now. Okay, here's my
Sue,
answer.
what do you think?
My answer is, I think it depends on the individual. I think some individuals prefer to work out by themselves, certain, on machines or whatever, and have a private coach. I think there's some value in that. There's also so much value in getting together with a group of people. I mean, for instance, myself, I like to work together in a group because I think there's more energy in the room. Plus, you meet more people, and I think that's such a big part of coming to the J, and it not only keeps you, again, physically healthy, but it helps you with your social fitness as well.
Yes, I agree 100%. And it just so happens that question that you asked, when I was working on my master's, my final paper was on just that subject matter. Yeah, and this is not, that is so funny.
That was not a planted question.
Exactly. And to answer to that, yeah, I did, of course, some research, and yes, just, immersing amongst, a group of people definitely is going to have, just like we talked about today, a lot more benefits. But I'm not going to discount that coming in, getting your steps in, getting on that treadmill or, that step mill or whatever it is, or your weight equipment, is also very positive for you. But when you can add the social element, it does elevate your final results in your game. And that's some research out there that I could share with anyone to prove that. All right. And do we have any other? Oh, we have a second question.
So I've been trying to get my parents to retire because they're entering the age where they told me they were going to retire, but they just keep working. What are some of the ways that I can encourage them to find some activities that they may find equally fulfilling, but maybe a little bit less stressful than their job?
Okay, let me repeat the question in case we couldn't hear it at home. The question was basically have some parents pushing them to head toward retirement, but they're finding purpose and passion in what they're doing, and they don't want to go there yet. Sue, take it away.
Okay, like I said before, I don't think there's not a expiration date for when individuals want to retire. I think if individuals are continuing to work and they feel purposeful and they have a reason to get out of bed in the morning and they feel good about it, that's one thing. I think if they're staying in a job for reasons other than that, definitely people need oftentimes to, stay in a job because of financial reasons. But there's all sorts of resources out there on the web. I mean, they can contact me because I have had individuals that are in that position. In fact, I have one client that she has a very prestigious position in a well-known company here in Dallas, and we've been talking, and she says, I'm going to give my notice on X date. And I got a text from her 2 days before that date, and she said, "You know what? I got cold feet, and I'm not giving my notice." And I'm like, "You know what? You can have cold feet as long as they're not frozen, because what's happening is that the job is having a lot of impact on her in terms of mental and emotional issues, I think." And so what I encourage her to do is just, start looking for different ways that you can replace what has satisfied you at work and prepare for that departure. Retirement is not an event, it's a process. And you really have to think about it before you retire in order to gain the benefits of leaving and and having a healthy lifestyle once you leave the work. Did that answer your question?
Great. Well, and I like that. I like the way that you said, it's a process.
It is a
regardless
process.
of what the age may be, that it is a process, and there are those steps to prepare for that. So that's really great. And
yeah, it is a process. I mean, it's like, sometimes we retire and we have a party and we eat a piece of cake and then it's like you're gone. But there's so much on the other side of that door when we leave the office.
yeah.
Or any transition. With
Mhm.
any transition. I mean, think about it. When you got married, when you went away to school, when you graduated and had your first job. I mean, all those are transitions. And so many times we prepare for those transitions or we don't. Individuals, I've read where we plan more for a 2-week vacation than we do a lot of transitions. Plan for a lot of transitions in our life.
That's interesting.
Anyway.
Well, Sue, thank you again
You're welcome.
so much for coming
welcome.
on the
You're
segment
welcome.
today. And for our live audience, it was kind of fun to have something a little different. And for all of you guys at home, until next time, remember to wake up and get wealthy. And remember, we will be back next Wednesday for our regular segment. And April is all about dogs and Hug Your Dog Month.
Oh,
and
good.
so we have a dog expert coming on next month. But until then, remember, wake up, get wealthy. I'm Terri Arends. We'll see you next time. Thank you.